Gunfire erupted at a campaign rally for former President Donald Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania, Saturday. Trump said a bullet struck him in the ear. Here's how the attack unfolded. President Trump was speaking from a stage located here, with Secret Service snipers in position on the roof of a building behind the stage. The suspected gunman was on the roof of another building less than 450 feet away from where Trump was speaking, with a clear line of sight.
And look what happened to our country.
Moments before the shooting, we can hear nearby spectators saying they see someone with a gun.
He's got a gun!
At the same time, while Trump speaks, the Secret Service snipers can be seen facing the gunman's direction. We see the agent on the roof pick his head up just before shots ring out at 6:15. Secret Service agents rush to pull Trump to the ground.
Times photographer captured this image of what appears to show a bullet racing by the former president's head.
Take a look at what happened. Take a look at what happened.
Please welcome the next President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again. Just my children and my wife. Thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. Sing it! God bless the USA. We are here tonight with one purpose, and that is to elect Donald J. Trump as the next President of the United States.
Hello, good people. It's Rob Lee. So it's not the hoax itself. It's important to understand the event because it explains and helps us to understand some of what's coming. It's the why. And the why do the masses believe it and want it so. You see, you have to understand, why do the people want Donald Trump so much? Why? No, I mean, why? This is the key to having real understanding in the times that you're living in. Nothing that you see is coincidence. There are no coincidences with God. None. Everything that's happening in Israel, everything that's happening here, abroad, everything is for a reason, and it's all coming together. Now, if you'll be patient, we'll go to the top of the mountain today, and we'll speak nothing but the truth. Now, as you see the masses cheering, crying, and celebrating, and you've been seeing it for a long time, my Father, that is your Father, has a message for you and me. He wants us to remember they're cheering, celebrating, and exalting a man. Not even a good man, but exalting a man, and never once will you hear them say the name Jesus. It's not going to happen. Period. And my brothers and sisters, Jesus is the boss of all bosses, and he has all power, and he is the enemy to all these wicked people. The number one enemy is Jesus. Matthew 11:27, the words of Jesus. Jesus says this, all things are delivered unto me of my Father, and no man knoweth the Son but the Father. Neither knoweth any man the Father, save the Son, and to he to whomsoever the Son will reveal him. All things are delivered to Jesus by the Father. John 3:35 says, the Father loveth the Son, and hath given all things into his hand. All things into his hand. These devils will not say the name Jesus because they fear Jesus. They hate Jesus. That's the truth. You see, they can say the word God all they want. God bless America. Blah. They will not say the name Jesus. And if you are of God, you will say the name Jesus. This photo was taken minutes after the alleged shooting of Trump. It's a stage photo. It's the perfect picture. You see, this is a Hollywood picture here. You see, it almost looks like Iwo Jima. Trump with his hand high, and the people chanting USA, USA. Trump raising his fist in the communist manner. Didn't you know that? That was the communist pose, man, was the fist. Now, who benefited from this so-called assassination? Trump and those that are behind him with money. Now, just a word about the ear that was supposedly grazed by a high-velocity bullet from a rifle, from a 20-year-old white kid, of course. Of course, you knew that's who it would have to be, right? Of course you did. Friends, certain parts of the body bleed more than others. The ear is known to be one of those parts that bleeds a lot, even with a small cut. Here we see Trump's ear stops bleeding almost instantly. Now, supposedly, shots ring out. Trump grabs his ear. He said he felt the bullet ripping through his skin. The problem is that when he grabbed his ear, he took his hand away and there was no blood. There was no blood. Maybe when he slapped himself in the ear, that's when he set into motion a special effect with the technology that we have today that induced some fake bleeding. Trump is a master actor. He spent time working in the WWE. He knows how to play his part. He knows how to act. All these politicians, they're nothing but actors. Actors. Now, when you speak of wrestling, that Trump spent time in wrestling with the pedophile Vince McMahon, you see grown men in underwear rolling around with other grown men in underwear as they pretend to fight, and other adults watch on TV or either in person, and they believe that it's real. You don't see something wrong with that? I mean, if you really think about society, grown men half naked, rolling around, rubbing all over each other, and other grown men cheering for it. America has more issues than when you could spend a year talking about what has happened to the American man. It's mind-blowing sometimes. It really is when you think about what has happened to men, the stuff that men tolerate, and how easy it is to deceive men. How easy. Wrestling. It's a whole lot like everything else that is sponsored by the synagogue of Satan and the merchants of Babylon, aka corporations, those that are anti-Jesus. They are actors, natural-born liars, as we've talked about many times. Psalm 58:3, when your father says, they lie from the womb. They were born to lie. Now, you've all heard of crisis actors. We used to do videos about it. We don't do it anymore because it doesn't glorify my Father. You see, I've moved on to where what I do now is for my Father and Jesus. I used to do a lot of videos about immigration, about shootings. I don't do that now. I do what's about my Father and Jesus. I'm about my Father's business. Just as Jesus says he's about his Father's business, well, I'm about my Father's and Jesus' business. That's what we have to be about. Us, you and me. Crisis actors. Now, if you watch the video of Trump talking, and just as he supposedly shot, you'll see the people duck in unison with Trump. Too much so. It was too much in unison. Now, we'll come back to Trump and the Hollywood production that was this fake assassination shortly, to show you just how incredibly evil and delusional the majority of Americans are now. I give you this, and I ask you to really ponder what I'm saying to you. If the state of Israel were to openly, and I mean openly, commit any crime against most Americans and America, as they do now, 24 hours a day, if they went on stage and on TV and admitted it, said, yes, we did it, you damn right, the politicians, the media, and even the majority of people would say, it's okay for them to do this. This is delusional on a scale that is unmatched in mankind. Now, am I being overly dramatic? No, I'm not. We're telling the truth. Israel knows, and the merchants of Babylon knows, they can openly degrade, mock, and harm the people. And not only will the people not call out to Jesus, they're going to continue to support the ones who are harming them and their families. Brothers and sisters, that is America. That's the truth of it. They're not going to call out to Jesus. They're going to call out to the ones that are actually hurting them. You see, but you have to ask yourself, why? Why? There has to be a why. Why? What's the answer? Why? Well, just be patient, and we'll learn from the highest authority, and it won't take long. The answer's coming. You're going to see the great separation in these last days right before your eyes. A separation of people. We're not supposed to be around these people. Remember, we talked about this in the pigs and dogs preaching. You got to stay away from these people because no good can come from us trying to talk to them. We don't want to hear what they have to say because we know they're living a lie. They don't want to hear what we have to say because they think that we're living a lie. Was there really an assassination attempt on Donald Trump, or was it another state-sponsored hoax, the likes that we've been seeing for a long time now? If it's a hoax, again, we have to ask the question, why do the people believe such gross lies? Hello, good people. I'm Rob Lee. If you have some time, we have the truth. First off, before we go further, let us give glory and praise to our Almighty Father in the name of the King of Kings, Jesus. So Trump rewrites his convention speech, and the focus is on unity all over this filthy nation. Now, for the past years, you've had people on the left, you've had people in business, newspapers, everybody's been against Trump. Now these same people are coming to his defense. You do see the writing on the wall, don't you? Well, you'll see it even more clearly. Just be patient. So Trump, he rewrites his convention speech, and the focus is on unity. The so-called leaders that are really mere pawns of the devil are saying we must have unity. In fact, as always, the talking points and buzzwords come directly from the corporate headquarters known as the merchants of Babylon. Now the new word is unity. We must have unity among the Americans. People do not understand that the overwhelming majority of all they see and hear is a script written by those that do evil. So let's ask a few questions today, and let's see what we need to do to prepare for this so-called unity. Because when the United States starts talking about unity, there's a reason. When the United States says they want to send aid to another country, there's a reason. And it ain't out of love, man. And you're going to hear a lot of talk about peace. And when the United States starts talking about peace, you can know there ain't going to be no peace. There are a ton of videos and documentaries and media reports about dangerous places, war zones, contaminated areas, dangerous neighborhoods all over this nation. However, The 5 most dangerous places in the United States are corporate buildings, government buildings, churches, schools, and hospitals. And who are the 5 most dangerous people that reside in these buildings, that oversee and work? Bankers, media heads, preachers, doctors, and teachers. And what makes them so dangerous? They are the greatest liars in the history of mankind. All these institutions speak via the entire media complex. Listen to me, brethren. In the past 30 years, nothing has done more damage than the internet and cable news, because they will look directly into the camera and they will lie without an ounce of remorse or regret. They are plastic and fake, and now, we've looked into it when you start to see them for what they truly are. We've done quite a few videos about it. When you see them for what they truly are, what they really are, they have no spirit of God. They do the bidding of their masters, and they have but one purpose: to be used as control agents. Thus, by telling lies and creating false narratives, they can create a false reality that is the opposite of what our Father gave us in Jesus. What's black is white, and what's white is black. All 5 media heads, bankers, preachers, doctors, and teachers can kill you. They can kill you. They can make you believe that you're being helped when you're being raped and murdered in both body and mind. This is the end of the time truth. So why do people believe such lies? Why do people who seem to have sense, and you've met guys and gals who seem to have some sense, why do you believe the lies and the BS? Yet they will believe it. This is America. But why are people really this delusional and stupid? I mean, don't you want to know why? And what does it mean to you? I'll show you. Hang tight and we'll learn from the highest authority. Donald Trump said, take your shot. He said, take your shot. And he'll say it again and again. The communist fist. Remember it, the communist fist. We told you in May many Hollywood productions were coming. We've not seen the last of them by far. Many more are coming. So who will get the blame for this fake shooting? Well, it's real in the minds of the godless Americans. I say the media and the MAGA cult will blame Russia, China, Iran, or maybe a combination of all 3, or maybe they'll come up with what it's called the deep state. It was a left-wing conspiracy. The deep state. There was no word known as the deep state until the synagogue of Satan gave these people the word, and now people on the so-called right, they run with it. Deep state. Your father never called them deep state. Jesus never called them deep state. He simply called them the children of the devil and the synagogue of Satan. That's it, man. No made-up names. Just evil. Pure evil. So the alleged shooter, a 20-year-old named Thomas Matthew Crooks, probably not even a real person, more likely a computer-generated composite of various people. This was done also in the Connecticut school shooting of 10 years ago. You knew that the shooter in this so-called shooting was going to be dead. You knew he'd be a lowly white boy who's angry at Trump. And they'll call this made-up character, and they already are, a terrorist. Moreover, the United States and the Trump followers will drink it, and the poison will fill them up with what life is about. It will fill them with the lie, and it's all about this life, man. It comes down to the truth and the lie. Friends, that's what this life is. The truth and the lie. You are here, and you have to choose one. You're either of the truth or you're of the lie. There ain't no middle ground. Truth or lie. Conspiracy theories are going to be nonstop. There are going to be people that are going to be doing this, man, for months and years until they don't have the internet anymore. Who did it? So the so-called shooter was allegedly walking around in camo pants with an AR and an American patch on his arm. And there were people in the audience and people who were saying, hey, he has a gun, he has a gun. You already see how they wrote this to confuse. As people went, there would be confusion, because that's what they do. The entire event is a staged and sponsored hoax to deceive and do far more to this evil nation. The merchants of Babylon, the corporations that run America, will use it to convince more folks that we need war, security, maybe some digital currency, maybe some digital ID, and they'll use this event to deflect attention away from crimes committed as they prepare to take people to war, and suffering will be the normal way of life, but not all at once. I speak as my Father moves me to. It's Jesus that moves me to speak and write these words. This was an incredibly poor production. I've seen a couple good ones. This was not one. Professional killers, assassinations by real killers do not fail. They blow your brains out, and they don't miss, and they escape. If this were real, Trump would be dead. He would not be raising his fists in the communist manner and leading the chant of USA. And this is so staged that only the naive and stupid would buy it. And yet I tell you, the masses will buy it and spend all they have as they put all their hope in Donald Trump. And I mean, they are going to put everything in Donald Trump. It made me sick to see this man, Lee Greenwood, talking about God bless America. I despise this nation. I hate it because it has rejected Jesus Christ and exalted men, and even devils. Even the children of the devil, it exalts them. And then it wants to talk about God. God will love his own, and there ain't many. Now surely, this could be some deranged person acting alone, but do we really believe it? If it were so, what would this say about the Secret Service detail? You could have went up to Philly and got a troop of monkeys, and they could have protected Trump better. This is staged. On November the 22nd, 1963, JFK was murdered in Dallas, Texas, allegedly by a lone gunman named Lee Harvey Oswald. 2 days later, Oswald was dead, so he could not talk. Today, this so-called shooter is dead. You see, they don't ever want you to go backward. And when Kennedy was killed in Dallas, Texas, he was shot at least 3 times. The shots literally blew half of his head off. You see, professional killers don't hit ears. They hit the target down to the size of a dime. Moreover, as they raise Trump off the stage, he raises his fist, pumps his fist, and chants, USA, USA. You could see his crowd, his people, that at that point they would walk off of a cliff for him. They would literally take them and their children and just walk off of a cliff for him. You see, that's their God. You see, most white people either worship the state of Israel or Trump, or they worship them together. That's their false God. It's not the Father. It's not, and the Father gave us Jesus. That's not the God. Nuh-uh. Their God is the state of Israel and Donald Trump. This hoax was on par with the Gabby Giffords fake shooting. The congresswoman from Arizona, you recall her husband, the fake astronaut, or one of the dozens upon dozens of fake shootings we've had in this perverted nation for decades. There will be a government investigation into this hoax. Of course, it'll be a show for the delusional masses. It will keep them from guessing. It will keep them guessing and rolling the dice for months and even years as women and children are slaughtered in Gaza and the West Bank. And that will be turning around here soon, and it will be landing right on the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean and walking across the United States of America. It most certainly will. Donald Trump is no different than Joe Biden. Both are evil. Both will give the synagogue of Satan whatever they ask for because they are their harlot. They both are agents of the devil's children. Do you think, I want you to think about something. Biden's 81, Trump's 79, almost 80, and that's the best we can do in the United States as a couple of 80-year-old men. That's really the best we can do. That's the best we can do because that's what the synagogue of Satan gives the people, and God allows it because the people have said, we don't want God. Now, if you don't want God, you don't want Jesus. And if you don't want Jesus, you don't want God. And if you don't want Jesus, the Almighty Father will tell you, I'll give you some leaders. I'll give them to you. What you get is what you get. You're going to see people all over this hat even more now wearing red hats, waving the flag. You're going to see the MAGA, the SAGA, the Donald Trump, Make America Great Again. You're going to see it like you've never seen it before. You're going to start to see people that have hated Trump for years are going to be getting behind him. They're going to start to get behind him. Many people want Trump to take office because they believe he's going to make them financially better. You see, Americans are broke. A lot of folks can't afford rent, food. They want Trump's going to make it better. Moreover, all these people, they'll protest, they'll march, they'll fill venues, and they'll cheer, and they'll scream, and they'll cry, and they'll clap, and they'll praise Trump, and they'll follow the every move of Trump. Yet these same people, hear me now, these same people would not and will not give a second, not a fraction, not an ounce of the same time and energy to Jesus they give to Donald Trump. Yet these same people believe that Trump is going to make America great again and their lives better. Friends, your Father is watching and he's letting all this play out. Who makes your life better is Jesus Christ. No man makes your life better. Everything you get in your life is from God. Good people, do you really think your Father is going to allow Donald Trump to be worshipped in place of him and be hailed as a Savior in the place of the glorious gift he gave us in his Son Jesus, who gave his life for us? If you believe this, and they do believe it, you see, they believe it. They know nothing about the Father, which means they don't know anything about Jesus, because if you know the Father, you have to know Jesus. They go together. Donald Trump is an actor. Like all of them, Biden, Obama, Bush, and all the rest, they are pawns of the merchants of Babylon. Trump is anti-gun. He told the people to take your shots. He has openly said Israel is the best friend to the United States and he will support them come what will. Come what will. And the state of Israel is going to take the United States into a world war. These monsters, Trump and those behind him, and even the ones that are following them, have become so cold they don't feel guilt regarding any of their behavior. They cannot see their own lies, the people that follow them. No matter how much they hurt others and hurt themselves and their own family, they don't see it. You see, they believe they're on the side of right. They believe that Donald Trump is powerful and intelligent, and they want to give him authority to change my life. They see him as charming, trustworthy. You see, the people don't see these monsters, these politicians, these corporations are criminals, monsters, hiding behind masks. They plan criminal activities and they always do it in a way that minimizes the risk to themselves and blames others. They always have contingency plans in place for every possibility, but they can't hide from God. And if they can't hide from God, it means they can't hide from Jesus. This is why they hate Jesus. They know Jesus is going to come for them. How dare anybody oppose murder, rape? You shouldn't oppose murder or rape, the beating up of children or women or theft or starvation or any other crime. You should be quiet about it. After all, God bless America. This is a great country. It goes all over the world, raping, killing, and stealing. But it's a great country. Make it great again. I ask you, when was the last time that this whore was great? When was this evil, wretched whore great? I ask you. You got to go back a long time. And you see a lot of white folk. And they're doing one thing, most of them. They're worshiping the Father in the name of Jesus. That's great. That's what makes you great. In the United States, opposing a mass murder, starvation, bombings of hospitals, schools, and homes is considered worse than committing mass murder. Trump is a part of this. Imagine these Trump people supporting, protesting, and saying Trump is being treated unfairly. He's being persecuted. They're going to march, spend money, donate their money, drive miles, stand in heat and cold, wait in lines, and all this for a man that they believe is going to make life better. Because that's what it comes down to. Make my life better. make life better. And yet, it's Jesus that makes our lives better. And when you see these people, I want to ask you something. Why would these people not speak up for something as fundamental as the drinking water being contaminated with lead, arsenic, fluoride, and more? You know, it's amazing. They'll march and they'll protest and they'll carry flags, all of them, the whole country. But when it comes to what they ingest, they don't say anything. This is America, just ignorance and silence. And then when they do speak out, it means absolutely nothing, because they don't have God with them. If you don't have God with you, you don't have Jesus with you, which means you have nada, nothing. This is America. But why are the people this delusional and stupid? I'll show you. So, the MAGA witch cult, and we know that the word MAGA is another name for magus, MAGA. This is where we get magic. And the Bible says, thou shalt not suffer a witch. You're not supposed to be around these people. I mean, this is a part of sorcery. And these people are under a spell. And they're devoted to their false god more than ever. And they will say it's an act of God now, that Trump is alive. God saved him. God spared him. So God's going to use Trump to make America great. And he's going to save everybody. The same people that hate Jesus, God's going to use them to make America great. You see, they don't see that. You're not going to hear these same people chanting Jesus. Instead of chanting USA or Trump, 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 or USA, why not shout Jesus? It's not in them to shout Jesus. Why? Because the truth is not in them. I promise you, our Almighty Father sees all and is all is given to Jesus. The enemy knows they can pull the state-sponsored hoaxes and upcoming false flags, because this is a nation that is spiritually dead. New Age Hollywood productions will be in order. For months, the FBI has been saying they're predicting an attack on the United States by either overseas terrorists or the homegrown kind. We've been talking about it since back in April. A Hollywood skit was needed, and there will be more, to remove eyes from their crimes and redirect attention away from them and lure the godless back to believing you must have the corporate-owned government protect you from all things that are against you. Romans says in the perfect word, if God is for you, then who can be against you? I don't need or want anybody else to protect me but God. I don't want nobody to take care of me but my Father and Jesus. I don't want no man to do shit for me. I don't trust men. I don't trust governments. I trust my Father and Jesus, nobody else. Now, if they want to put somebody in my life to help me, they've done it. And they will put me in my life to help somebody if it's from the Father. But everything goes through our Father. And if it goes through the Father, it goes through Jesus. The churches are going to hold vigils, prayer services, and the right wing, the Trump followers, the Fox News crowds are going to call everybody a terrorist. Everybody's against Trump. They're going to say Trump is the best friend of Israel, and they must support Trump, or he really supports the state of Israel. There will be more talk of trying to ban guns and make it harder to get ammo. Most folks don't know that in 2017, Trump said he would ban rifles. Yet the white urbanites will declare he's their best friend and he'll save them if they just follow good old Trump. He's going to make this filthy, sick, and grimy nation, they believe, going to make old America great again. And patriots are going to wave the flag. And the Trump flags are going to be out everywhere. And he will be held up as an American hero for how brave he was. But when Jesus was on the cross dying for these people, there's no need to mention that. These naive and clueless people would not believe it was a show. Even if Trump admitted it was fake, they still wouldn't believe it. The corporate-owned media will tell the spiritless nation who the enemy and enemies are, and they will expect the people to go along with whatever lies they're told. If they make up an enemy on the computer, this is your enemy, and you better believe it. It's easy to do that to godless people. But again, why? Why? There has to be a why. It may be multiple enemies, some abroad, some here at home. They're going to have to cover all the bases. However, the naive masses do not understand. They also mean here at home. That the number one enemy will be here. They want to keep everybody quiet and control what's said and what's written. We can expect more fake shootings. In fact, you will see a plethora of fake shootings and false flags. And as always, the culprits in these fake shootings are going to be called terrorists, radicals, insane, and unstable. And the lies are going to grow bigger. The scripts are written. It's just a matter of planting the actors and move them to the movie set as we see those that God condemned doing what they do best. They're telling lies. And the people will choose the lie over the truth. And that's what this whole video is about. And the truth is the love of the life that is found in the Son of Jehovah and our blessed Savior, Jesus. So the American media circus towards the TV and the internet, that's what it does. It just goes round and round and round. Trained animals and performers keep people captivated and mesmerized by their tricks. The people will watch and listen as the animals do tricks and the clowns make them laugh and cry. This is the American circus, and it just goes on and on and on and on, but it will have an ending sooner than you think. The television, churches, academia, the internet, and especially social media has done the most damage of programming the people to accept lies as truth and truth as lies. Countless lies, rumors, and myths begin and have their origins on the internet. The lies and deceit that you see and hear today on the internet and TV and churches and academia have become the daily diet of the masses. It's all they eat. You see, people wake up, they eat the lie. They go to bed, they eat the lie. They live the lie. There is a sickness across this land. It is physical and it is spiritual. It comes from watching TV and the internet 24/7. It comes from technological devices such as cell phones, tablets, laptops, 5G towers, and the poison rained on us constantly, and what we ingest. Nothing has done more damage, like I said, in the past 25 to 30 years than the television, and in the past 20 years, the internet. I mean, folks, you got to understand, the internet has wrecked people's lives. People start their days by cutting their phones on, and these devices tell the people how to feel, what to believe, how they're going to dress today. But why do they believe the lie? Well, now we come to it. So let us sit down on top of the mountain as a family, and let us understand why we have been so blessed. Because you understand, you've been starting in your life, you've been starting to see things that you haven't when you were younger, and you've made changes, and you see things now more clearly than you ever have. But why? Why? And why do they not see it? The overwhelming majority of white nations are completely godless and flat out deny Jesus. I told you, Ireland, a nation that used to be so godly, is one of the most atheistic countries on this earth. Ireland. And the real Father Jehovah allows these people to believe the lie because he knows those that truly love Jesus and those that care less. It's called the strong delusion. It's about living the lie and choosing the lie over the truth, but it goes deeper. Because Jesus expounded on it. I mean, he said something that just does not get talked about. One verse, and nobody talks about it. Let me read to you what your Father says in 2 Thessalonians about the strong delusion. I want you to read well. Read well, because you're understanding why they believe what they believe. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 10 through 12. And then we're going to read the words of Jesus, and you're going to put it together and you'll understand why. Verse 10, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth. Here he's saying they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause God shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie. And for this cause God shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie. So they receive not the love of the truth, and God then sends them a strong delusion that they should believe a lie. Verse 12, that they all might be damned. Now the Father he's damning them who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. So now the Father damns those who believe not the truth. The truth. But what is the truth? It's your Father, the one true God, that has blinded these people. He not only blinds them, he damns them because they believe not the truth, but has pleasure. They have pleasure in doing wrong. They have rejected his truth, his words, his commandments, and most importantly, they rejected Jesus. Now these people walk around denying God, the Father, Jesus, and the Holy Word. But let's see what Jesus says, because this is just so powerful. Hold on to it. The truth revealed in John 18:37. Pilate therefore said unto him, talking about Jesus. This is when Jesus is talking to Pontius Pilate. And Pilate therefore said unto him, Art thou a king then? Jesus answered, Thou sayest that I am a king. To this end was I born, and for this cause came I into the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Every one that is of the truth heareth my voice. Every one that is of the truth heareth my voice. If you are of the truth, you hear Jesus. So now, do you understand why these people believe the lie? They're not of Jesus. They can say the word God till they're blue in the face. It means nothing. They're not of Jesus. They have rejected the truth. They don't hear the voice of Jesus. They don't follow Jesus. They don't care about Jesus. They're politicians and all these monsters and liars. They hate Jesus. But these people believe that Donald Trump is going to make it better. Folks, remember what I told you, what the Father said to you and me. Remember they're cheering. Remember they're clapping. Remember they're exalting a man. Remember it. For you will see all those cheers turn to a great sadness and a great suffering. We should have no fellowship with these people. Those who walk in the light have no business walking with those that are walking in the darkness. Life is about Jesus. Friends, your Father is incredibly kind, merciful, loving, and generous to those that seek him with a true heart. Jesus is and will be the best friend that you've ever had. It's not close. He will not leave you nor forsake you. When every other person in this world leaves you, he won't. If you're in the middle of the desert or on top of a mountain and there's nobody around and you don't have nothing, it's Jesus that can tell you, look, I'll take care of you. It'll be all right. I will take care of you. We must keep our eyes on our Jesus and let our ears and eyes hear and see his truth. God is invisible to the eye, but with spirit we can see God. He shows us things. He teaches us. He walks with us. And he does this through who? Jesus. You love and you pray and you believe, and your Father and Jesus are going to love you and help you and guide you, and we're going to finish it. Your Father said he would do it. Your Father will never lie, nor has he ever lied. All this madness and all this lies and filth that we see in this world is the means to the end. It's all steps to the finale that is coming soon. Do not become emotionally invested in the theater and goings on in this world, but so much. For it's all your Father's will. Yes, we are truly living in the last days. We really, truly are. I thank you for being here with me today. May the Father, the one true Father, bless each and every one of you in this small group. And I want to say another thing to some of you. I have some kittens that I'm trying to get adopted out. I have 4 of them. I had 3. I found another one. I went to the dump, me and my wife, and praise Father. Father is so wonderful, man. We thought we had lost one because we just couldn't get it. And Father wanted us to find it. It's a little orange and white one. I have some kittens, and I'd be willing to drive to a certain place if somebody would be willing to adopt some of these kittens or help, if you would. But I'm not going to just toss them back out. I'm not going to do it. Because my Father moves in me and told me, no, you're going to love them. This is what we're going to do. Because everything in our life, sometimes Father does things with us and for us and through us because it's what he wants us to do. These cats were meant to live. So if you would like a kitten to spend these last days with, email me. May the Father bless each and every one in this small group of people. You are the family of Jesus. Don't you ever, ever forget it. You wake up and pray. You go to bed and pray, and you pray all throughout the day. And if you got to get up during the night and pray, you do it. And you do everything in your life. Everything you do it in the name of the most powerful and beautiful name ever. The most beautiful and powerful name ever is Jesus and no other. May the Father bless you all. Amen.